Tina, something we've talked about while we're taping all these, but we talked about our fear and about stepping out in faith. Um, and you may have touched on this on one of the other videos, but this taking this mission trip was a great act of faith for you, wasn't it?
Yes. Um, I didn't know if I could raise the money to go.
Okay.
I didn't know if I would be able to keep my apartment and
Okay.
still come back to it because of my situation.
Yeah.
I didn't know how my family would react to me leaving. Um, I didn't know how the children I take care of would
Yeah.
manage the summer without me,
Yeah.
if I could manage the summer without them. um, yeah, I just had to trust that God was going to take care of all of it. And He did. Absolutely.
So from the front side of your trip, you could see a lot of risk,
Mm,
and we've talked about this. Um, you think the Lord actually calls us sometimes to do things that look risky?
absolutely. Absolutely. Because how is He going to build our trust if we're never going to take a risk? If we don't need Him, then how are we going to realize what He's doing for us if we never accept the fact that we have a need?
Mm.
You really don't know what all God is already doing for you and what He can do for you, and how much He wants to do for you, and until you give Him a chance to do that. Um, if you think you can handle life on your own, it's not going to be much of a life. I promise you. You need Him.
You think the Lord today calls us to do things that are greater than our ability to accomplish them?
Absolutely. I I went to Guatemala to. I ended up teaching preschool children English. I do not have a teaching degree. They did not speak English. I did not speak Spanish well. Um, I could only have done it through God being with me. Um, I'm trying to think of the verse, but we can do all things through God who strengthens us.
Mm-hmm.
I had to walk to work every day and walk home in the pouring rain, and I didn't get sick from any of that, which was something of a miracle. Um, no, you cannot imagine the things you would be able to do if you just accepted that God will help you and He will do it with you and through you.
So if we only attempt things that we can do, you think we're really robbing ourselves of learning that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because if you're only doing the things that you can do, then you're not stretching
Mm-hmm.
your faith, and you're not allowing God to work through you and do the things He can do.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be amazed.
Um, do you think people right here, right now, in our church, in our community, do you think there are things that would stretch their faith? Has
Sure.
God given us opportunities, you think?
Sure.
Yeah,
Every day.
yeah.
And just open yourself up to Him. You'll find Him.
What would you say to someone who feels like God has challenged them maybe to love on their neighbor, but they see it as risky? How would you tell them to take that first step of faith?
You just determine that that's what you're going to do. Ask God to make sure that that's what you're supposed to do. Ask Him, is this what you want me to do? And then do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Okay. It works for the tennis shoe company. You ought to work for that. Yeah. um, Tina, I appreciate your testimony,
Thank
and
you.
I appreciate your courage, and I'm grateful for the fact that you can testify and remind people God's faithful. Yeah. Someone told me one time, Tina, that when He calls us to serve Him, we become His obligation, and we can then testify of His faithfulness. And that's what I hear from you.
Yeah.
God's good, isn't
Yes.
He? He is.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you, I appreciate you, and I appreciate your joy, and I appreciate your testimony. And folks, I would encourage you that if you want to be encouraged or challenged or double dog dared about taking that step of faith, you ought to talk to Tina. She's always around the church, and she's serves the Lord faithfully. And I would just encourage you that what she has experienced in her life, I think, is what God wants us all to experience. And we don't have to go, like she said, to Central America. We can do it right here in our own neighborhood. Hey, thank you, Tina. I appreciate you sharing with